You don't know the power of the dark side.
What's up guys, Mistpass here, back with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes commentary video, and today I'm bringing you my roster review video of Emperor Palpatine. Emperor Palpatine was introduced to us via the Emperor's Demise event, which is a very rare event, and I just so happened to have 5 7-star rebels, so I was able to unlock Emperor Palpatine at 7 stars. At 7 stars, his speed is about average, his base speed is 122, so he's kind of middle of the pack as far as DPS goes. There are some faster, some slower. His potency is also very easy to get up to a point where you're not going to get a whole lot of resists on his shock. Speaking of which, his basic ability is Lightning Strike. It deals special damage to a target enemy and shocks them for 3 turns. Then Palpatine gains 15% turn meter for each shocked enemy. Shock is a new debuff exclusive to Emperor Palpatine. It is a combination of buff immunity, healing immunity, and turn meter gain immunity, which is a new feature in the game. This debuff is extremely handy when facing tanks like the Royal Guard. His second ability, Power of the Dark Side, deals special damage to all enemies with a 70% chance to stun them for 1 turn. Shocked enemies are stunned for 2 turns and have their shock dispelled. So you kind of get a little bit of a added bonus / takeaway there, so it's kind of a give and take with that ability. Let the hate flow. All allies gain offense up for 2 turns, and all units lose 5% of their max health. However, Palpatine recovers health equal to 150% the total amount of health lost. For each shocked enemy, gain 30% turn meter and refresh the duration of shock to 2 turns. As you'll see later in my gameplay, this ability actually heals Emperor Palpatine for a considerable amount. His leader ability, Emperor of the Galactic Empire. Empire and Sith allies gain 32% potency and max health. Jedi and Rebel enemies have minus 32% potency and evasion. Whenever an Empire ally inflicts a debuff during their turn, they gain 20% turn meter. Whenever a Sith ally inflicts a debuff during their turn, they recover 20% of their max health. This means that a handful of characters who are both Empire and Sith will gain both added benefits of health and turn meter gain. His unique ability, Crackling Doom, at the end of each of his turns, Palpatine deals special damage to all shocked enemies and then deals special damage to all Jedi and Rebel enemies. This damage cannot defeat enemies. However, if you have the shock debuff on a Jedi or a Rebel enemy, they will take double damage, which is pretty nifty. When deciding which mod sets to put on Emperor Palpatine, I think potency is the most important mod set for him because you want to make sure that that shock debuff is landing. So I went with 2 sets of potency mods and a health mod because his base health is not that great. You could also go with defense mods, but I prefer health because obviously with his leader ability, he gains plus 32% health, so having more health on him will make a difference. Gearing Emperor Palpatine is easy as long as you have a whole ton of those power cells. Otherwise, he only requires a droid collar at gear 8 to get to 9, and a security scanner to get to gear 10. So that is pretty awesome. His shards obviously are found at the Emperor's Demise event, which at the time of recording this footage was about a day and a half left. And unfortunately, I have no idea, nor does anybody else have any idea when that event is coming back. So let's talk strategy. If you were one of the lucky individuals to unlock Emperor Palpatine at 7 stars, congratulations. In my opinion, you have one of the best utility characters in the game available to free to play. Now, I understand there are some other characters out there like Rex who are amazing characters, but unfortunately Rex is a pay-to-play character and unavailable to me as a free-to-play. So having Emperor Palpatine is incredibly awesome. I use him in my Galactic War. He is the newest core member of my Galactic War team, and I'll actually be posting a Galactic War playthrough video here very soon. so you'll get to see how awesome he is when you're just burning through Galactic War as fast as you possibly can. The reason Emperor Palpatine makes Galactic War so easy is because of that shock ability. It renders tanks useless. Royal Guard especially, because Royal Guard, A, cannot taunt when he has a buff immunity to put on him, B, won't heal himself when you damage his allies, and C, won't gain turn meter when you damage his allies. So you'll basically be turning Royal Guard into a giant red sausage standing on the enemy team doing nothing. The only thing he's going to do is stun maybe one of your characters every once in a while, and that's if you don't stun him first. Aside from Galactic War, I've seen many people actually using Emperor Palpatine in their arena teams. Usually, Emperor Palpatine is accompanied by strong AoE characters like Jedi Knight Anakin and Lando Calrissian. One of the strategies I've actually seen that sounds very viable is actually using a Lando Calrissian lead with a Stormtrooper Han team to actually give a quick turn meter boost to your entire team. With the right mods with speed buffs and a speed buff from the leader ability of Lando Calrissian, you can get Stormtrooper Han moving very quickly, and as long as he's moving before the majority of your enemy's squad, you're going to get a turn meter boost that will guarantee that the rest of your team will go before anybody else on the enemy squad, which means that Emperor Palpatine will have a 70% chance to stun everybody on the other team before they even get a chance to attack, which could be the difference between winning and losing a fight, especially if you've got Jedi Knight Anakin and Lando Calrissian on your team pumping out their AoEs, doing incredibly high amounts of damage between the two of them. You can pretty much add whatever fifth character you want to on that team, and it will be a very, very viable AoE DPS team for Galactic War, arenas, any of the above. And the most beautiful part of that is all four of those characters are free to play. Lando Calrissian as your leader, Stormtrooper Han as your tank, and Jedi Knight Anakin as your added AoE DPS. I've seen other strong arena teams with Jedi Knight Anakin as the leader, giving added crit damage and offense up to Emperor Palpatine and other AoE characters. And then I've also seen other good arena teams with Emperor Palpatine in the lead with other Empire and Sith allies like Darth Vader, Royal Guard, and other AoE DPS. At the end of this video here, I wanted to showcase Emperor Palpatine's leader ability in action. Since he is Empire and Sith, he will be gaining the turn meter and the health bonus from all of his debuffs landing. The same goes for Darth Vader. Royal Guard will only gain the turn meter bonus from landing his debuffs, and Count Dooku will only get the health buff from landing any debuffs. One of the most useful places for Emperor Palpatine as a leader is with the Potency Mod Challenge. My 5 Empire characters include Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader, the Royal Guard, Magma Trooper, and Grand Moff Tarkin. If any of you have Tarkin or the Magma Trooper, you already know how low their base potency is. Having Emperor Palpatine as the leader actually makes those characters somewhat relevant. They'll actually land their debuffs on a much more consistent basis. This about wraps up my review of Emperor Palpatine. He is an extremely useful utility character. On top of that, he is a great leader for Empire and Sith. So he's a very good character to have on your roster. I hope all of you watching this were lucky enough to unlock him. If not, I really hope they bring this event back, and sooner rather than later, because Emperor Palpatine is very awesome. In the meantime, get your Rebel squads ready. If you missed my last roster review video, it was over Princess Leia. You can get to that video by clicking the annotation on the screen. As always, like, favorite, subscribe, and I will catch you all later.